Morning, all. All right, so we got 11 games tonight in the NHL. We've got 5 starting at 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern, 2 an hour later, 1 an hour later, and then we get into the late games. So not too bad. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific start between the Buffalo Sabres and the Florida Panthers. Florida has won 2 of the first 3. This is the 4th and final meeting. This is a must-win for both teams. Should make for a very competitive, entertaining game. Florida's won 2 of the first 3, though. October 15th, Florida won 4-3. January 16th, Florida won 4-1. And February 24th, it was a 3-1 win for Buffalo. The Buffalo Sabres, 37-31-7. Their last 10 games, they're 5-3-2. Away from home, they're 22-11-3. They are 5 points back of Pittsburgh in that final playoff spot. They are 1 point ahead of the Ottawa Senators. On the Florida side, they're 39-31-7 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 6-4. At home, they're 21-12-4. They are 1 point back of Pittsburgh for that final playoff spot and 4 points ahead of Buffalo. So there's the possibility they win at home, and if Pittsburgh loses on the road, then Florida gets back into the driver's seat, so we'll see what happens there. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Toronto and Columbus renew their rivalry. They met on back-to-back nights, February 10th. 3-0 win for Toronto, February 11th, a 4-3 win for Columbus, so this is a rubber match. Columbus 24-44-8, not a great overall record. Their last 10 games are 3-6-1. They can play spoiler though. Away from home, they're 9-23-6. They're 10 points behind Montreal. They are in last place in the East. On the Toronto side, they're 45-21-10 overall. Their last 10 games are 5-3-2. At home, they are 25-8-6, and they're 4 points ahead of the Tampa Bay Lightning, trying to lock down second spot in that division and home ice advantage in the first round. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Detroit Red Wings and the Montreal Canadiens renew their rivalry. Detroit's won 2 of the first 3. We'll see how this one goes, because on October 14th, Detroit wins 3-0, but it has been very close from there. November 8th, it was a shootout win for Montreal, 3-2, and January 26th, it was an overtime win, 4-3 for Detroit. So, yeah, interesting one there. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, the Ottawa Senators and the Carolina Hurricanes get together. This is the second of 3 meetings, so they'll meet again. On February 24th, it was a 4-0 win for Carolina. The 4th and final meeting will be on April the 10th, so this coming Saturday. Should be a fun one. Ottawa, of course, must-win situation here, and they need some help. They're 37-34-6 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. Away from home, they are 15-20-5. They're 6 points back of the Pittsburgh Penguins in that final playoff spot. They're 3 points ahead of both Detroit and Washington. Carolina, 49-18-9 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 5-4-1, but they seem to be turning it around. 26-10-3 at home, so that's a pretty good home record, and the road record for Ottawa has definitely been a problem. The Carolina Hurricanes currently 3 points ahead of New Jersey, atop the Metro Division. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, Pittsburgh and New Jersey renew their rivalry, although New Jersey's won the first 3 meetings. They're going for a season sweep tonight. So December 30th, it was a 4-2 win for New Jersey. January 22nd, it was a 2-1 overtime win for New Jersey. And on February 18th, it was a 5-2 win for New Jersey. Pittsburgh 38-29-10. Last 10 games, they are 4-6. Away from home, they're 16-17-5. They are 1 point back of the New York Islanders, and they're 1 point ahead of the Florida Panthers as that race in the East continues to stay really, really snug. On the New Jersey side, they're 48-21-8. Their last 10 games, they're 4-4-2. At home, they're 21-13-4, and they're 3 points ahead of the New York Rangers. So for New Jersey, not necessarily a must-win, but they want to keep the Rangers at bay, and they want to keep Carolina in their sights. 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific start between Philadelphia and St. Louis. November 8th, Philadelphia wins this matchup 5-1. The Flyers are 29-34-13 on the season. Their last 10 games are 5-3-2. Away from home, 12-17-8. They're 15 points behind Pittsburgh in a playoff spot. They are 5 points ahead of the Montreal Canadiens. On the St. Louis side, they're 35-35-7. Their last 10 games, 6-2-2. 16-16-6 at home. So a lot of sixes there. 12 points back of Winnipeg and a playoff spot, and 2 points ahead of Vancouver. So obviously, the playoffs not happening, mathematically impossible for St. Louis, but there's still something to talk about in terms of where they are in the overall standings. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific start between the Vegas Golden Knights and the Nashville Predators. Vegas has won the first 2 meetings in this season series. 5-4 in overtime on December 31st, and 5-1 on February 7th. Vegas 48-22-7. Their last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. Away from home, they're 25-7-6. They're 3 points ahead of LA. They are 4 points ahead of the Edmonton Oilers. On the Nashville side, they're 38-30-8 overall. Last 10 games, they're 4-5-1. They're coming off that loss last night against Dallas. Does not get easier. At home, they're 19-14-4. They're 5 points back of the Winnipeg Jets in that final playoff spot. They are 7 points ahead of the St. Louis Blues. And then at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, Chicago and Calgary go at it. Now, Chicago's won the first 2 meetings. Apparently, let me just double check that because that seems odd. Yep. I just want to double check because I did this last night after the recap. So I'm like, sometimes I write down the wrong one. But yeah, Chicago's won both meetings. Is this the only season series they've won this year? I got to be close. 4-3 in overtime on January 8th, and then 5-1 on January 26th. So Calgary trying to win their first against Chicago. So if they'd beaten Chicago in both of those games, they'd be ahead of Winnipeg by 2 points. Anyways, Chicago 24-46-6 overall. Their last 10 games are 2-8. Away from home, they're 10-24-3. They're 35 points behind Winnipeg and the final playoff spot. They're 2 points behind San Jose at the bottom of the West. On the Calgary side, they're 36-26-5. Last 10 games, they're 6-2-2. 19-15-4 at home, and again, 2 points behind Winnipeg, 3 points ahead of Nashville in the overall standings. This is an absolute must-win. And again, I just found that odd. That really threw me off. I'm like, wait, Chicago did win both of those games? Anyways, 10 Eastern, 7 Pacific start between Seattle and the Vancouver Canucks. Vancouver's won the season series. However, in their last meeting, Seattle beat Vancouver for the first time. Vancouver won October 27th, 5-4, and on December 22nd, in a shootout, Vancouver won 6-5. January 25th, it was a 6-1 win for Seattle, thus the No Mercy Magnet. For Seattle, coming off a huge win last night against the Coyotes, they're 42-26-8 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 5-4-1 away from home, 24-10-4. They're 7 points back of Edmonton, so not very likely to end up in a top 3 spot in the Pacific, but they're 3 points ahead of Winnipeg, so pretty comfortable in a playoff spot. Vancouver, 34-35-7 overall. Last 10 games, they're 5-3-2. At home, they're 17-19-2. They're 14 points back of the Winnipeg Jets in a playoff spot. They are 8 points clear of the Arizona Coyotes, so they're right in that mushy middle, mediocre, below the playoff line, and we'll see where they end up in the draft lottery. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start between the Oilers and the Kings. I'm wearing Kings because why not? LA won the first 2 meetings. The most recent one was won by Edmonton, but this is in LA. I'm like, sure, why not? So LA won November 16th by a score of 3-1. January 9th, it was a 6-3 win for the Kings. And then on March the 30th, it was a 2-0 win for the Oilers. The Oilers are 45-23-9 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 9-0-1. Away from home, they're 23-11-3. They're 1 point back of the Kings, and they're 7 points ahead of Seattle. On the LA side, they're 45-22-10 overall. Their last 10 games, they're 7-2-1. At home, 25-9-4. 3 points back of Vegas, 1 point ahead of the Oilers. The Pacific Division remains pretty tightly bunched together. 10:30 Eastern, 7:30 Pacific start between the Colorado Avalanche and the San Jose Sharks, the first of back-to-back meetings. As in, on April 6th, they will meet again. Colorado won the first meeting on March the 7th by a score of 6-0. For the Avs, they're 45-24-6. Their last 10 games are 8-2. Away from home, they're 24-11-1. They're 2 points back of both Dallas and Minnesota, so we could have a 3-way tie atop the division if they can beat San Jose tonight. The Sharks 22-39-15. Their last 10 games are 3-4-3, and they've won 3 in a row. They're 8-20-10 now at home, so maybe they reach double digits in wins at home this year. Maybe it happens. They're 30 points back of Winnipeg in that final playoff spot. They're 3 points ahead of the Anaheim Ducks. So they've been moving up the standings at the perfect time of year if your team's in that bottom 5. Just not really the perfect time. But at any rate, let me know your winners in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. And hey, thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.